This is deep, right? I want to give you a fundamental difference between the church and the kingdom. There's a difference between the two, all right? And you'll probably see this quite a lot, especially in these days that we're living right now, the so-called end days. We've been living in the end days for the last 2,000 years. Listen, it's what about an ambassador for Christ, and that's it. Kingdom word. If you listen to this video, obviously you want to know about the kingdom. The kingdom stuff is the kingdom word is helping you. You know, if you're new to the channel, you know I'm doing a kingdom series, and there's going to be a playlist down below. Let me show you something. See, the church wants to vacate, but the kingdom wants to dominate. Right? The church wants to vacate, and the kingdom wants to dominate. Woo! For the kingdoms of the earth have become the kingdoms of our God and of his Christ. Did not say that in the book of Revelation. See, a lot of church talk about rapture, talk about end days, talk about leaving, you know, look up, you know, for your redemption, draweth nigh. They're looking towards the sky. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But a lot of people, they just don't want to be on the earth anymore. I've heard it so many times and seen this in so many comments where it says, I've had enough of the world, I just want to leave. You know, I want to go into Canaan's land, and I want the rapture to happen today. The reason why you want the rapture to happen today is because you've probably got some debt and some sort of issues going on in your life, and you can't deal with them, and that's why you want to go. But this is the main. I didn't say it to offend anybody. I'm being real here, yeah. A lot of the church wants to vacate, but the kingdom is not like that. The kingdom wants you to dominate. Woo! See, when you think it's just, oh, you know, rapture's going to happen, we're leaving, oh, don't worry about it, you know, whatever. Souls ain't going to get saved. You're not going to win no one to the kingdom of God. Why? Because you're too occupied on leaving. That's what a lot of the church is like. Do you know what? The core church is not like that. It's more like the rest of them. You know, you've got the masses. The masses feel like that. They're looking at every single earthquake and stars in the sky moving. They're looking at all this stuff. They're focused on it so much. They're convinced. I'm convinced we're in we're in rapture season. We're in rapture season. I'm convinced that God is coming back tomorrow. I'm convinced. That's how a lot of the church think. But that's not how the kingdom thinks. Hey, it's powerful. The kingdom's here to dominate. As ambassadors of Christ, we're here to take territory. We're here to take over. People think Satan's winning. The kingdom of darkness is winning. No. The kingdom of, stop watching telly and stop going on the news and come off the internet. That's not winning at all. The kingdom is winning because on grassroots, on the ground, we're taking territory. Things are happening. We're always messing up the kingdom's, the Satan's kingdom's plans. The kingdom of darkness, we're messing up their plans. Why? Because the ambassadors are here to dominate. Now, what are you meant to be dominating? You're meant to be dominating wherever God has given you. Whatever dominion or domain God has given you, you're meant to dominate that domain. It might be, you might need to, you know, dominate around your area. You know, start taking authority, dominate it. No demons can come around here. You know, I'm preaching the kingdom. I want to win souls to the kingdom. I'm going to start helping people to bring them into the kingdom. So in your community, you can go out and do community work. And in you helping your community, you can bring them into the kingdom. I don't mean to bring them into the church. They can come to the church, obviously, as a place. But you want to bring them into the kingdom so they understand kingdom principles. See, the kingdom of heaven runs on principles, all right? But the church has got a whole lot of mess in there. So we need to be teaching kingdom principles to people, to saints. Because when I talk to people about the kingdom, they want it. But when you speak to them about the church, they don't want to go. They don't like church. I don't want to go to church. Church is boring. There's loads of hypocrites in church. I don't like the people in church. And that's how they go on. But when you bring them the kingdom, which is a set of principles, you can see those principles in Galatians chapter 5 verse 19 onwards. It speaks about working in the flesh and working in the spirit. Working in the flesh, living in the flesh and living in the spirit. They're just the principles. See, when you're born again and you don't walk in the flesh and you're walking in the spirit and the fruit of the spirit, they're the principles that we're meant to be teaching. See, people want to hear that. They don't want to hear, oh, you know, you've done this sin, you're going to hell. No, you're fornicating, you're going to hell. No, it's not that. We need to tell them why. The reason why we're as kingdom ambassadors, we don't fornicate, because when we fornicate, we understand that this happens and that happens. We don't do witchcraft and sorcery. The reason why we don't do sorcery is because this happens and that will happen. So we steer clear of all of that, and we come from the spirit. We come from, you know, the fruit of the spirit. That perspective there. There's a lot more to it than that. I've got other videos, other kingdom videos. So they're the two main. There's some of the differences between the church and the kingdom. And also the church, you always find out that the church is always behind the kingdom. The kingdom always comes to revelation, and it takes a few years for the church to catch up. It's the reason why we don't understand prophets or apostles. My bishop, right, he was speaking about Revelation 10 years ahead of its time, and people left the church. People thought he was crazy, but now we're walking in it. People are walking in it. For example, as sons of God, he was talking. My bishop, this is deep, right? He's deep. He said that this is what he said 10 years ago as a kingdom message. He said, us as sons of God, or us as Christians, we need to be entrepreneurs and work for ourselves and have our own businesses and own our own land, so that we become self-sufficient, not relying on the government, not relying on this institute or that institute to sustain us. See, and he got rejected for that. A lot of people left the church. A lot of people thought he was crazy, and we don't like you, and all this sort of stuff here. But now we've had a few financial crashes, and we've had a few problems. Now we're coming to the realization, you know what? I don't want to work for someone else. I want to work for myself. I want to have my own business, have my own land, be debt free, and move freely to bring this kingdom message out to help people out. See, when you're in debt and you're busted and you're disgusted and stuff like that, you can't bring a kingdom message. Why? Because you're lacking in so many areas. So anyway, I went off on a tangent there. I'm going to stop that. There's a lot more to it than that, but I'm going to stop. So what I'm trying to say is that the kingdom message that prophets bring is always ahead of its time, and the church always takes time to catch up to that prophetic word. I'll give you an example. God sent Joseph ahead of his family to Egypt. So when Joseph represents the kingdom. God sent the kingdom to Egypt first, and then the church, which was his family, caught up afterwards and received the benefits of the kingdom, because the kingdom went ahead. Esther represents the kingdom. God sent Esther ahead before Haman tried to kill everybody and do a genocide. The kingdom was already in position. The church benefited from the kingdom's position, which is Queen Esther, years after. Woo! Daniel. God sent Daniel ahead. Do you get what I mean? God always sends the kingdom ahead, and the church catches up afterwards and benefits from what the kingdom has prepared. If I can say that, the kingdom word that's gone ahead. So if you become a kingdom-minded person and get into the kingdom and understand kingdom principles and work as a kingdom ambassador, you will get insights and knowledge and information that no one don't know about, and the church will not hear about it for 3-4 years, but you will already be secure. Why? Because you heard the kingdom word years before. So you've prepared yourself, and then when the church turns up, you're already there. Like, you don't know about these things. Come in, let me help you. Come into my house, let me show you what's going on. Because you've already been there. You're already there. You've been there waiting for the church for the past 20 years. It's quite a deep, powerful word. So the church always goes ahead of the kingdom. The kingdom always goes ahead of the church. The church is always playing catch up. The prophets and the apostles and people with prophetic words, they're always ahead of the church, and they're ahead in years. It's powerful. So what I'm saying, I've been speaking about, forget the rapture, forget the end days, and you need to dominate where you are right now. Don't try to vacate, you need to dominate. Build your house, get out of debt, start your own business. Have some children if you're married, And if you're not married, you've got children, get married. Get a legacy to hand down to your children's children, because the worst position we want to be in as sons of God is that we don't want to be 80 years old or 90 years old with absolutely nothing. No house, no land, no money in the bank, no legacy for our grandchildren or children, and a rapture hasn't even happened. And you're in an old people's home on your own with nothing, because you've been looking at the rapture and trying to vacate, when God is saying, stop trying to vacate, start dominating. See, we're going to find out that in the years to come, you will be wise if you start to dominate where you are. Get debt free, get mortgage free, start your own business, buy your own land, become self-sufficient, so you can pass that down to your children, and they could pass it down to the children's children. Because when we do that, we are dominating where God has given to us. We're dominating the area, we're dominating the land, we're dominating the community around where we are. We're bringing the kingdom of heaven into that location. It's a powerful kingdom word. A lot of people won't receive it, but this is the reason why you guys will receive it, because you guys are the mad kingdomites. You are the ambassadors for Christ. You are the core church, and you're still here listening to me ramble on about the kingdom. It's powerful, it's interesting. Now, if we grab the kingdom and we move in kingdom principles, your life will change. your health will change, your psychosis in your mind will change. You'll get so many answers and divine revelation and instruction from heaven because you're in line as an ambassador. Your life will change. God will say to you, as an ambassador who's in line with the kingdom, you will hear God say to you, listen, do this. And when you do it, you get benefits. God will say, listen, do this. You do it. Things change. God will give you some divine insights into things. God will link you up with people through divine, I forgot the word now. Divine meetings with people, divine appointments. God will give them to you when you're in a line. But when you're not in line with the kingdom and you're all in a church mindset and you're all like, oh, people are so against the church. There's so much preaching and people, these doctrines that are coming from other religious people like Egypt and Hotep and that stuff, they're all coming against the church, saying church this, church that, leave the church. Yeah, leave the church and go in the kingdom. Woo! Leave church and go in the kingdom. I think I might have to do a message. That sounds like an awesome message for another video. Anyway, stop rambling. You kingdom mag people, I'll do some more kingdom videos on the next one. And like I said, I will be going back to Jamaica soon. So please pray for me and pray for the family, because this is a powerful word. And and I do it for your prayers, and I'm thankful and grateful for you doing them. I shall see you guys next video. Stay blessed. God is really, really good.